Think Qatar, and this is the last thing you'd expect to see. The Khor mangroves are roughly an hour's drive north of the capital, Doha, and form some of the oldest and largest mangrove forests in the country. The best way to see them is kayaking.
It's harder than it looks.
Because of the environment, Qatar doesn't have many native plants, but the mangroves are one of them. They've adapted to the Arabian seawater, which is much saltier than what we're used to in the UK.
So the tree filters the water,
Yeah, the root.
the root,
Yeah, so
takes the salt out,
Yeah.
and then the salt ends up in the leaf.
Yeah. So this root is like filter. It is very important for mangrove.
It does taste of salt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyone want some salty leaves?
Sometimes water coming up, sometimes it is going out. It will be dry, in 24 hours. Like only 6 hours water here. After 6 hours, it will go back.
So hang on, so in 24 hours
Yes,
there'll be no water?
Yes. That's why there is no animals here.
Ah, right, okay. So for 6 hours a day, it's covered in water,
Yes.
and then it goes with the tide?
With the tide, yes.
Wow. Okay.
It's peaceful and quiet, a delicate ecosystem supporting herons as well as flamingos, fish and crabs. A different side of Qatar to the skyscrapers, sand dunes and the Souq Waqif.
Speaking to the Qataris and the expats who live in this country, they've been irritated by the focus on negative aspects of the country and the tournament, such as human rights, and those are legitimate issues to focus on. But in the interest of balanced reporting, we thought we'd also show you that there are positives to living in Qatar. We could have showed you the deserts of the Middle East, the stereotypical sand dunes and the barren landscapes, but we thought we'd show you something a bit different, something you wouldn't expect from Qatar, like the mangroves.
In the past 30 years, the Qataris have made a conscious effort to protect these mangroves. Not only do they absorb greenhouse gases, but they also protect the coastline and boost tourism. With Qatar's aim to raise tourism to 12% of GDP by 2030, they're going to need the mangroves.
Don't want to be stuck up the mangrove without one of these.
Paul Hawkins, GB News.